One thing I know for sure is that the next time I decide to do freeforms, I don't want it to be under the shield of pain, of fear. Hello, it's Daisy, and thank you for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be talking about what is going to be going on moving forward through 2023, and as far as my Dreadlock journey goes, obviously that one is no more. And the reason behind that is it was kind of a page turn in my journey with my locks. I've had locks 3 different times. The first set were back homes with beeswax. Not a very smart choice, but I didn't know a lot back in 2010. And the second time was in 2016 after I left my older son's biological father. This third set I began June 2020 among COVID. The reason I brushed out my locks was, and I didn't know it at the point in time, but as I was brushing them out, I identified I let locks form in times where I'm feeling deep emotional pain. And all those 3 times that I described, to some degree more severe in some than others, that pain and fear is a driving motivator for me to allow locks to form. And I didn't want that to continue. The very day I brushed my locks out, it took 2 weeks total time, but when I started brushing them out was November 9th, and it was also the very first day and the very first time I ever did EMDR. EMDR stands for Eye Movement Desensitization Reprogramming, and it is a process used to heal trauma, to allow the brain to process the trauma. And by no means am I done. I just turned 30 in December, and I have 25 years worth of trauma. My trauma stems from early childhood into childhood, teenage, early adulthood. I didn't know I had any trauma until COVID, until August 2020, when I began therapy. It took me 4 one-hour sessions to go through the timeline of my life, just to be told you have complex PTSD. I never heard the phrase before then. My son was diagnosed with PTSD in July 2020, and that was 1 month after I chose to stop brushing my hair and let freeforms happen. So on one hand, I always believed that my dreadlocks were a representation of healing, but the healing truly didn't begin until I agreed to EMDR. And that was where I actually was allowing myself to embrace that healing and let it move through me. So that's that in a nutshell. One of the symbolic things of brushing out my hair that I noticed, and it stuck out to me more so after than during, but when I let freeforms develop, your hair, your lock is trapping in all the loose strands and holding it. After I brushed my hair out, that's when I actually felt this freedom, so to speak. Brushing all that extra shedding, all that shedding that was happening, and brushing that out and throwing it away, it was as if symbolically I was no longer hanging on to that pain. The locks forming themselves were the representation of me holding that pain. Brushing them out and throwing that hair away was me letting go of that pain. And this isn't true for everyone, but something I identified personally through brushing out my hair. So I don't know, I hope I drove that home in a clear way. Total, I had my locks for 2 years and 5 months. I wouldn't mind having freeforms again, but I don't think at this point in time it's going to be the right time. I'd rather move through all of this healing first and kind of decide when the timing feels right, kind of like I have in the past. But one thing I know for sure is that the next time I decide to do freeforms, I don't want it to be under the shield of pain, of fear. I'd rather experience what freeforms are like when they come from a place of healthiness and happiness. Because that whole realm is new to me. So if you came for the freeform dreadlock update, this is it. Thank you for watching this point, and I hope to see you in the future at some point.